goodness. We are going to be talking about some top tips and strategies and key metrics for your conference ROI, because you've spent the money to be there. You've convinced your manager to actually go to this thing, or if you're a small business owner, you're putting your money where your mouth is. So we need to put this marketing on steroids, and today we have fantastic fellow podcasters, auto industry leaders, and of course, Cherokee media representation here as well. So my name is Elena Ciccotelli. I'm the host and producer of the EVs for Everyone podcast, and I'm so excited to be here with Kaylee, Felio, Shasta, Haddock, and Dana Nusbaum. Hello, how is everyone?
Fantastic.
So good.
So good. We're here. Okay, did I just out of the gate at breakneck speed? Would love to get everyone's. Who are you? What do you do? And what was your favorite cereal growing up? I'll start it off. Mine was Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It was the best. I'm sorry. Only when my mom would go out and buy it for me. So, Shasta, I feel like we're going to start with you. Who are you? What do you do? Favorite cereal?
I gotta start off with the favorite cereal. As a kid, it was Frosted Flakes. That has since changed. It is now Fruity Pebbles, but off-brand. It tastes different. What I do, I run an off-site BDC for the automotive industry in Joplin, Missouri, and I also host a podcast, which was previously known as Chicks in Charge, is now the I'm a Car Chick podcast.
Love it. Fantastic. Kaylee.
Oh man, so many things to talk about. Okay, so I'm the sales and marketing director with Parts Edge. So I do a lot as far as content creation, brand, new business. I mean, anything that's related to growth and everything I'm involved with at Parts Edge. But I also host two podcasts. I have Trailblaze Your Path and the Parts Management podcast, both fulfilling certain areas that I am very passionate about in the industry. Favorite cereal. I don't eat it anymore, really, but I think it was Reese's Puffs. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I love that one because my mom didn't buy it very often, so it was like a special thing, and I feel like that was my favorite.
Yeah, I know. I'm in the same boat where my mom was like, "No, you're not getting sugary cereal. You're hyper enough." Dana, over to you.
Dana Nusbaum. I'm with Cherokee Media Group, but we go by several brands like Used Car Week, Canada's Used Car Week, Auto Intel Summit, so you might have heard any of those brands floating around. I work with clients across the automotive industry on their marketing, advertising, and event sponsorships with Cherokee Media Events. I'm going to have to say my favorite cereal growing up, I'm going to go with a classic Lucky Charms. Because you picked out the marshmallows.
Yes, absolutely. The marshmallows were the best part. And you know what? All of these cereals have something very in common. They are super sugary. So, we like the sugary cereals here. Forget about the nutrition facts here. So I want to get into this discussion really by framing it in three parts. And for everyone listening, whether this is your first couple of conferences in the automotive industry or this is your 500th conference, I know you probably fall somewhere on that spectrum, but today we want to just reignite that feeling of preparedness when you're going into these conferences, right? I said in the beginning, you spent a lot of money to be there. We want to get the most out of it. And yes, it is conference season, y'all. So we are talking about what you are doing in the beginning, your pre-conference preparation. What are you doing during? And then, of course, what are you doing after with all those glorious follow-ups? And of course, I do want to talk about ROI because at the end of the thing, we want to feel like we came away with some value. So if it's okay, I would love to set the stage with Kaylee. I would love for you to talk about what are you doing a week before the conference, 2 weeks. Give us some more insight here.
Oh man, so I feel like the preparation starts months and months ahead, where you're just networking on LinkedIn. We have this amazing tool to really connect with people. So that is what I'm doing to prepare. And then just looking at, who's I guess kind of in the pipeline as far as who you're having conversations with, who's on the radar, and who is going, so you can have those in-person conversations, because I just think it's so invaluable. Those I have a perfect example, if I can share it really quickly. Actually, it just came to mind. I've been talking to someone for probably going on 2 years, back and forth, whether or not they were going to work with us at Parts Edge. Just timing. There's a lot, fixed ops directors, they have so many things thrown at them, what they need to focus on. So we actually happened to run into each other at the conference. I didn't know he was going to go. Poor planning on my part, because I didn't really plan, but we ran into each other because in the fixed ops community, you're connected with so many people and you just run into everyone. And we just talked, and I started asking questions, and I really wasn't trying to sell our service, because I knew he knew what we do or could do for him, and it turned into a deal. So it just, I think my point is the in-person interactions and just being able to connect on that level is invaluable. So
and also I will say to that point, Kaylee, like, you've already laid the groundwork. You've already laid the groundwork of like who you are, what you do, by showing up as you, as your brand on LinkedIn. And so I think having that conversation is just such an easy segue into, all right, well, what do I need to do on the admin side of things? Like, send me over the agreement. I'm about to just sign right now. You know what I mean? So you've already set the foundation for it. So I love that example. Shasta, I'm over to you, girl. What are you doing?
A lot of social media, which I do all the time, but really more so before the event. I'm scouring those posts of people saying, who's going to NADA, who's going to Used Car Week, and making sure my presence is known on those, looking through the comments, seeing if there's anybody I want to meet up with. It's fun kind of being, I think most of us can relate on this, being on the side of multiple aspects. We have 3 companies here, and then we also have the podcast. And so, who I want to meet with is different for different things. I mean, everybody could be a client of mine, whether it's a dealer, it's a vendor. I work with anybody and everybody. So really it's, scheduling those meetings, scheduling dinners at the conference. Most of the time, most conferences, you're going to get wiped out very quickly. You're going to get people overload, name overload at that. And so making sure that you schedule these things in advance, because people's schedules fill up quickly between the after parties, if it's an ADA, the concerts and all the events they're throwing there. Schedule those dinners, schedule a breakfast, anything you can to get some one-on-one time where there's not a lot of noise going on. That would probably be biggest for me.
I love that so much. And also, you want to make sure that you're sending out those calendar invites. And I will tell you what, for me, a week before, I'm sending calendar invites. But for me, it's also a little bit different, because then I'm also recording content on site. So I'm already know like what content I'm going to be recording. And that obviously that's like a very niche thing that's just like specific, actually probably to the 3 of us on here as well. And also Joe and Nick, I'm sorry we're overtaking your show. But also I, really want to acknowledge the amount of planning and strategy that goes before. So Dana, from your perspective, you have a completely different view on this. Tell me what you're doing weeks. Actually, you're more like months out, right?
True. So yes and no, different perspective, because I do attend a lot of the industry events, and I do need to meet with people as well and get them engaged in our media properties. So there is a lot of prep that goes into this. A couple of things. One, does the event have a hashtag? Pop it into LinkedIn. Are we following that hashtag? Who else is posting about that hashtag? Perusing their event website. Who are the sponsors? Who's attending? Do they publish a guest list or attendee list? And then I create a probably top 20. Like you guys said, NADA, huge event. You really have to hone in on who is the most important, who do I need to connect with, and because it is overload. I mean, you could meet with 1,000 people, but I do like to whittle it down to kind of a larger event like NADA, my top 25. Who are my top 25 that I must have a meaningful connection with? A smaller event, maybe it's my top 10 or top 12.
Absolutely.
And then, like you guys said, connecting with them on LinkedIn, finding their pictures. So when I'm at the event, I can facial recognize and you know who you're talking to.
Absolutely. And also, you guys do, Cherokee, shameless plug here, you guys do a great job of sharing the attendee list ahead of time. Not
you.
every conference does that, and I go to a lot of conferences, so I'm very much appreciative of that, because then I can just go like, oh, beep, bop, boop, bop, bop. This person's there, this is a speaker, and so you can have that all just laid out. So during the conference, one thing that I will add to the pre-conference things that I'm always doing, what does actual success look like for you for this particular conference? Because it is different for every single one. So we are coming up to Auto Intel Summit, which is coming up in April, right? So Auto Intel Summit is a different feel than NADA. And so different goals, different conferences, and I think that you have to be clear with yourself. Don't say to yourself, I'm gonna meet 100 dealers at a smaller niche. No, be real with it, right? And set those intentions ahead of time so you can be really, really specific. All right. So during the conference, anything and everything from what you're wearing, what you're posting, what you're eating for breakfast. No, we already talked about cereal, so we can skip over that part. So, Kaylee, actually, go ahead. Yes.
I was just going to say the most important thing is to eat breakfast, because you
Yes.
spend so many more calories walking that conference floor, going to all of the different places that you have to go through, and you don't even realize just how many more calories you're burning because you're indoors. And it doesn't feel like work. You're just, seeing all the things and talking to all the people, and then by the time you realize that you burn more calories than you've eaten, and you're wiped.
And you feel like you're gonna die. Yeah, no, that's such a good point. So actually, Shasta, since you got the mic here, what are you doing during the conference to optimize your time?
I've learned a few good things for me specifically, and this could be wildly, an argued topic. There we go. Had to find the right word. Controversial. There we go. That's it. I prefer comfortable shoes. I did the thing where I wore the heels and I see these girls walking in stilettos, and I just don't know how y'all do it. I don't know. My feet would be killing me in 20 feet. So power to you. If you can do it and get away with it and not be hurting at the end of the day, power to you. My big thing is comfortable shoes, comfortable clothes that, I'm not going to be, not unprofessional. Like if I have a really nice pair of jeans or some dress slacks that aren't like cutting me in half, or something like that, where I get to be comfortable, because for me personally, I can be my best self when I'm comfortable. And then networking while I'm there, this took me years to learn, and I'm sure I didn't come up with it, but I came up with it for myself. Like nobody told me to do it. When I'm networking with people and to connect afterwards, I cannot take business cards anymore. I will forget in 10 minutes who you are, and that sounds horrible, but there's so many people. I don't take business cards. I won't accept them from anybody else. I take a picture of them with their badge, and then I save their number in my phone and use that as the contact photo. That has been probably the most useful thing I've ever done. That way I can put a face to a name and know exactly who that is. And then you send them back the same thing, a picture of you with your badge.
And then are you then also going into LinkedIn and having them like scan your QR code on LinkedIn? Are you adding that too?
Yeah, so I actually have, instead of business cards, I have a mobile business card, which is a QR code, and it gives them my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my phone number, my email, everything, plus a picture of me, and automatically saves me as a contact on their phone.
Exactly.
And it's free.
And yes, exactly. Free is for me. Kaylee, what are you doing during the conference?
I love that idea, and I don't think I use that enough, throughout the conference. So I'm definitely going to implement that better, because that's the worst when you meet them. You're like, you have such a great conversation. You're like, who were they? The face really matters. You have to tie the face and the name together. So, okay, sorry. What was the question? What am I doing during
what are you doing during to optimize your time, to make sure that you're getting to those meetings? Do you leave a little bit of flexibility in your schedule? Do you leave a little bit of white space in there, right? Like,
yeah.
Walk me
I've
through
done
that.
it all. I feel like I've done where I did back-to-backs, and then I've done where I've leave some space. And then I've also done the conference where I'm speaking. So there's like different strategies, because I feel like when I spoke at NADA, I was so unprepared in how I could maximize my time, especially from speaking and then going and networking with everyone. Because speaking for the first time also kind of wiped me out. It's very all the adrenaline and everything. But I think to prepare during it, you just have to make sure you're connecting with people beforehand, putting it on the calendar, even putting it tentatively. Like, it doesn't have to be solid, just like putting it so everyone has it on their calendar and you can kind of shift, because you might run into that person sooner than you agreed to meet. So just kind of being flexible, having some white space, making sure too, there's so many great sessions and workshops that you have to put on. Use your calendar, I guess, is the point. Like, put it all out, and don't be afraid to be flexible, I guess.
Yeah, because you need to have room for those serendipitous moments, right? Where you see somebody in the hallway, Shasta, Dana. I do that to Dana all the time. I'm like, Dana. So Dana, over to you. What are you doing, Dana? I know you're like a whirlwind of activity, especially if it's like a Cherokee conference, right? As
Very
opposed
true.
to NADA.
Yeah. My probably biggest tip is utilizing every single second of that conference, and that's from, honestly, there's a bunch of automotive industry clients over here in the Raleigh area. So even at the airport, I am scanning and I'm looking for any labels or companies that I recognize, and I will strike up a conversation. You know me, anywhere. So I was seated one time, I got upgraded, and I got seated next to the CEO of a company that I have been trying to meet. And I saw his hat, and I was like, what do you do? And he's like, I'm the CEO. I should have actually known that, by the way, from his LinkedIn profile, but I did not. So I was like, oh, here's my opportunity. And we had the whole flight, to sit there and network. So airports are huge, especially a conference like NADA where people are flying in and flying out. I always see people I know say, keep your eyes out. I tend to dress a little comfortable for sure, but just a little bit more professional, even on the flights, because I always run into people. My other major tip is, I do love seeing everybody, familiar faces at the event, but you have to get out of your comfort zone and you have to talk to strangers. You have to. So I do like sitting at a table for lunch where I know nobody and meeting new people. I have this slogan, I do my best work by the bar. I do. I'm not even that big of a drinker, but I do my best work at the bar. I have met so many incredible contacts, and even if it's not somebody that I'm intentionally trying to meet, I met somebody at the bar one time and we just struck up a conversation. He's like, who are you here to meet? And I was like, I'm trying to connect with this company and this company. He's like, I know the CEO. Let's go over say hi. And I was like, oh my gosh. So using every single opportunity, those networking events are key. Get out there, start talking to people, get out of your comfort zone, and utilize every second of the event.
Oh my gosh, that was a masterclass, Dana. I love it, because you're right. Things can get a little bit comfortable if you've been going to you've been in the conference circuit for a number of years, and it reminds me of, yes, I'm going to quote Mean Girls. It's like, we wear pink on Wednesday. You know what I mean? It feels a little bit like that sometimes, but you're right, Dana. You got to get out there. You got to shake things up. Talk to people you don't know in a non-creepy way. Highlighting non-creepy. So let's talk about I don't know, that's a boss move, Dana, like going up to somebody on the flight, because even I'd be like, oh man, I don't know if this person wants to talk to me for the whole flight, but that was a boss move. Good on you for doing that. Post-conference follow-up. This is when we're evaluating ROI. This is maybe when your manager comes up to you and says, hey, Elena, I'm my manager. It would be myself. But hey, what did you accomplish? All this money that you spent on this conference, what are we getting in return? So I will offer up a piece of my favorite advice here, if I could. I am obsessive about, and Shasta, you're going to like this, BDC, like, what is my CRM looking like? What were the conversations that we had? Put those people into your whatever CRM that you're using, making sure that you have a little note on there, because that's the backbone of your ROI. And I also, because I'm in media, yes, I'm like one of the first people to do that photo dump in LinkedIn, or like, oh, and like Dana said, you're using the hashtag. So again, that is engaging people. Like, they see your face again. They see you interacting with others and like, oh, I didn't know she knew that person. And then everybody's starting to kind of connect the dots. And that is also helpful for your follow-up, continuing the conversation in email world, right? We're leaving in real life. We're now transitioning over to the digital follow-up. So those are my quick tips there. We are running up on time, so I want to give everybody just a little bit of time to be able to say, what are you doing to measure ROI? I don't know, Dana. We're going Dana first.
I'm going to completely contradict Shasta and say I love a business card. I do. I love a business card. I have them with me at all times, and I like getting them, and then I like writing notes on them too. What am I supposed to follow up? Like somebody that I met is interested in speaking opportunities. I need to follow up with them on that. Somebody has a brand new product, they want to do a press release, I need to follow up on that. So I do like a business card. I keep them in a stack, and I follow up, with the business cards. I do put them in my CRM, of course, so I can also remind myself to follow up again if they're busy, because everybody is slammed after conferences with all of their follow-ups, so it might take a few. So until you tell me like, I made a mistake, I'm not interested, stop reaching out to me. I'm going to keep following up. Like you said that you were interested, so I'm going to keep providing the opportunities until you tell me otherwise.
Until you say, stop, unsubscribe. No one ever unsubscribes from Dana. No, that never happens. Kaylee, what do you do in post-event?
Okay, so I feel like it kind of goes back to during and after, but like making those notes throughout the show, like Dana was saying, I feel like at the end of the day, I'm like recapping. I have notes in my phone, and then I can put them in the CRM. So I feel like everything's moving so fast, so I do that. And then afterwards, getting everything organized through the CRM, and also getting the notes, and then doing that follow up. I feel like a lot of times after conferences, people get sick. Like, I think everyone gets sick for the first 2 weeks. So I just remember after NAD, I had a head cold for 2 weeks. So I was able to work, but it was a struggle. It was like, so I guess being prepared that you might need more time preparing for that. And it's okay, because everyone's so overwhelmed. And just making sure you're segmenting the people that you really want to focus on now and then the later, and just having that structure. Because to be honest, I have not kept up with my CRM structure, and I'm really going through a whole restructuring of it because I didn't adjust with how we've grown and the way we've done business throughout the year. So I can't really give you some solid advice because I'm going through my own kind of restructuring. So come back to me in a year.
Okay. Well, we're gonna, take a pause from shaking hands and kissing babies over here, and I'm a hugger though at conferences, and everybody. I think besides Shasta, I haven't seen you in person yet, but I'm a hugger, so I will get sick. Oh well, too bad. Shasta, what are you doing post event?
I think a lot of it comes kind of with what Kaylee said. It comes during the event too. So again, I can only speak for myself personally. I'm super neurodivergent. I will forget things within a couple of minutes. So I have to work the dog that I am. And so knowing that I'm going to forget most of this in 20 minutes because my brain's moved on to other things. And it's not that you're not important. It's that I can't stop this thing. I'm making notes while I'm talking to you, or I have the CRM app on my phone and I'm updating everything as soon as you and I are done talking before I even start talking to the next person, so that I can get as much information in there as possible. Sending an email right then and there, so you already have that email address. If possible, if this is a pretty hot conversation, going ahead and scheduling that next call for after we're back. Give it a few days after return, let everybody settle in, catch up on your emails, but get that in the calendar ahead of time so that it is there. And then of course following up with it as well. And I think that's really a big part of it, because so many of us talk about, let's connect when we get back, and then one person forgets, both people forget, no one knows whose responsibility it was. And so if we just handle it while we're there, it's already taken care of for when that time comes.
Absolutely. We got to make it easy. So, guess what? We have a perfect opportunity to put all of these strategies into practice. We got Auto Intel Summit coming up in Raleigh, North Carolina. It is coming fastly approaching very quickly, April 8th to the 10th. It's coming up quick. Everything from auto retail, finance, remarketing, regulatory shifts, investment strategies, all of it is there.
And you get to hear Elena host and moderate a panel discussion at Auto Intel Summit. Not to mention, April's just a beautiful time to visit the Raleigh area, so definitely fun.
It is, and you know what though? It's going to be a great time. I always look forward to hanging out on Cherokee's home turf there in North Carolina. It's going to be fantastic, and also too, make sure that this will all be in the show notes. But go and like and subscribe, everyone here, because we got some cool stuff happening. Thank you for joining this conversation. Thank you for giving us all those juicy tips, and I'm going to bring Lucky Charms for you, Dana.
I appreciate it.
I might see you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.